What do you expect to happen on October 4th?
As of right now, I have absolutely no clue. If you had me bet, I would say Miami will win. I don't know if it's going to be a blowout. I don't know if it's going to be a good game because I have no real frame of reference at this juncture to be able to judge it on. And I don't judge it off of spring games. Spring games are kindergarten graduations and Easter speeches. It's heavily scripted. It's not for us. The practices and scrimmages are for the real football fans, and most scrimmages are closed. The only time was there 105 effectively on the roster right now. This is the only time that 35 of those guys' parents are going to ever see them in a uniform and playing. So this is for mom and dad to get the picture and to feel good about their baby being at a school. But I'll know everything that I need to know based upon how week 1 goes. And doesn't mean a victory. If they come out there and because again, 3-6, again, if we're using context, Mike Norvell 3-6 his first year. Florida State opened up with a powerhouse Brian Kelly-led Notre Dame team that had a lot of hype going into it. And Florida State took them into overtime in a game that they probably should have won. In a year that they went 5-6 or 5-6. Doesn't we went 5-6? Something like that. 5-7, 5-7. Should have went to a bowl game. Probably should have won again. Definitely shouldn't have lost to Jacksonville State the next week. But hey, whatever. BS happens. Mike, they will be prepared. They will come out and compete. And if I see that, then I could go and say, okay, well, here's how I can see that Miami game going because I just saw Florida State play a team with a pulse and see how they played them. Because Notre Dame's going to have they're going to have a good line. They're going to be at least one of the top 3 offensive lines that we'll face, Miami being another one, because shout out to Maribel. One thing that midget can do is recruit the offensive lineman that he likes and get them to play the way he wants them to play. But Notre Dame will be Notre Dame, Miami, Clemson, however order you want to be able to put them in. I think those are 3 really, really good offensive lines. But is Bama still Bama, but it's not Saban Bama, and not because their coach Dober's not a good coach. West Coast Pac-12 play is a lot different than how we play ball here in the South. It's actually probably a little bit more comparable to the way the ACC plays, which kind of gives me a little bit more hope when it comes to that. Because if this was Saban, I would just be like, hey, man, all right, man, I'm going to go have a great tailgate, and I'm going to enjoy the first half, and then I'm going to be out of there. But like I said, we'll see how it goes.
Okay. Sure.
But when we have that Miami show getting closer, I'll have a much better idea of how I feel about that team. But to me, 4-1 or 3-2 going past the second week, going past the first weekend in October is not the worst outcome that Florida State could have had coming to that juncture. If that's the case, you go beat Pitt, you're 4-2 going into a lot of other different things.
Okay.